A'ja Wilson has definitely been in the headlines these last couple weeks, man, in regards to Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark didn't even wait for the confetti to settle before making her next big move. While most of the league is still busy debating the collective bargaining agreement, Clark's already secured her first off-season deal, and it's shaking up front offices and locker rooms across the WNBA. This time, she's not focused on racking up points or breaking assist records. She's building her legacy, gaining leverage, and stacking serious money. And no one's feeling that pressure more than A'ja Wilson, who's once again watching the spotlight drift away from her and back onto Caitlin Clark.
Clark has landed her first speaking gig of the off.
Let's be real. This isn't just another business move. It's a straight-up power flex, and everyone in the league can feel it. While the WNBA spends the offseason buried in pay disputes, union drama, and Kathy Engelbert's disappearing act, Caitlin Clark is out there signing deals that make the commissioner's paycheck look like pocket change. And these aren't your typical endorsements or TV ads. We're talking major corporate speaking gigs where Clark earns six figures just by doing what she does best, owning the room and commanding every bit of attention.
Last offseason was Caitlin Clark $100,000 an hour speaking gigs. Well, I'm here to tell you she is not taking long getting back to work, raking in the cash because she has landed.
We're not talking college gyms or fan events anymore. This is Fortune 500 territory. Reports say Caitlin Clark is now commanding $100,000 per appearance just to speak. Yeah, you heard that right. She's getting paid elite athlete money simply to share her story. Wild, right? But this is the same player who turned Iowa basketball into a national craze and made the WNBA appointment viewing. The moment the season ended, she didn't step back. She stepped up and took over. So here's the real question. Why are companies lining up for Caitlin, not A'ja? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
She's landing $100K to speak to speak for companies and represent companies all over the country. She's not hurting for cash, and I just think this.
Her newest move? A headline speaking spot at the Long Island Association's Fall Conference, one of the East Coast's biggest business gatherings, packed with top executives and powerhouse sponsors. Caitlin Clark will join President Matt Cohen for a sit-down about her record-shattering rise, her approach to leadership, and how she's reshaping the entire landscape of women's sports. And let's be clear, this isn't a feel-good charity talk. It's a paid corporate engagement held at one of New York's most exclusive country clubs, the kind of place where seven-figure deals get sealed before noon.
Look like Caitlin Clark is headed to Long Island Association, bro. So it's stated Long Island Association joined the Long Island Association's president and CEO, Matt Cohen, moderates a special conversation with Caitlin Clark discussing her record-breaking performances, impact, and cultural influence on October the 29th at 10:30 to 12:30 in New York.
And this is where things start to get uncomfortable for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is set to make in just 1 hour behind a microphone what most of her fellow players earn over an entire season on the court. The average WNBA salary hovers around $120,000. Money Caitlin can pull in before lunch, sitting in air conditioning with a bottle of Fiji water instead of taking elbows in the paint or getting overlooked by refs. Meanwhile, Kathy Engelbert is still busy holding meetings about travel upgrades, while her league's biggest star just built a second. Career practically overnight.
A'ja Wilson is currently back in the headlines after news surfaced. She's charging $100,000 for speaking events. She's talking about, she's charging $100K for speaking events, and fans is like, Shrek? Since when? And you only doing this because.
And this right here is what's fueling the envy from players like A'ja Wilson. She spent years trying to become the face of the league. Then Caitlin Clark came along and did it in a single season. Now, Clark's not just outshining her on the court, she's out-earning her off it too. Wilson can talk all she wants about team culture, but it's Caitlin who's stacking wealth and influence faster than anyone imagined. The WNBA's power dynamic just shifted, and A'ja's definitely not handling it well.
Wilson is the queen of the delusion. She's absolutely the queen of the
Here's the harsh reality. When one player's brand becomes bigger than the league itself, the entire balance of power shifts. Suddenly, corporate sponsors aren't asking for the WNBA logo anymore. They're asking if Caitlin Clark's name alone can sell out arenas. Media outlets aren't calling the league office either. They're going straight to her agent. For the veterans who thought their place at the top was secure, that's a rude awakening. This isn't just a side project for Clark. It's a statement. She's proving she doesn't need to wait for the WNBA to elevate her. She's already building her own empire, one microphone at a time. Top-tier speakers like Serena Williams, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady pull anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 per appearance, and Caitlin's already joined that elite circle. She's basically delivering TED Talks with a jumper, business panels with a crossover, and cashing in like a superstar. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson's left, scrolling through social media, watching all the buzz unfold, and this time, it's not about her MVP trophies or shoe deals, it's all about Caitlin's next move. You can practically feel the tension through the screen. While A'ja's posting cryptic messages about respect and deserving more, Clark's too busy perfecting her keynote speech. It's not just another level, it's an entirely different game.
Crazy because literally nobody asked, and sources close to A'ja Wilson decided to answer anyway.
But this story goes way beyond paychecks and speaking gigs. It's about power. While Caitlin Clark keeps expanding her empire, the WNBA is stuck spinning its wheels in chaos. Players are openly feuding with the commissioner, the unions hinting at a possible lockout, and attendance numbers outside Indiana are collapsing. The league is desperate for some good press, and once again Caitlin delivers it. The problem? It's her headline, not theirs. That's what stings the most. The league can't take credit for any of this. Clark didn't wait for PR approval or a sponsorship deal. She built her own path. She's proving she doesn't need the WNBA's system to stay relevant. She is the system now. The entire machine moves when she does. It's almost poetic. While players like A'ja Wilson complain about low salaries, Caitlin's out here, literally writing her own checks. She's showing everyone that true power doesn't come from arguing with executives. It comes from outgrowing them. Every time she lands another six-figure deal, she's reminding the league that fame, focus, and business savvy can build what bureaucracy never will.
The year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin.
Big corporations get it, maybe even better than the WNBA itself. They see Caitlin Clark for what she truly is. Not just a basketball player, but a global brand. Her influence stretches across continents. Her games trend worldwide. Parents in Europe are buying her jerseys for their daughters, and whenever she speaks, the world listens. Caitlin has become the universal face of women's sports, a rare mix of talent, authenticity, and charisma that no marketing campaign could ever create. That's why this Long Island event matters. It's not just another speaking gig, it's a statement. It's proof that the corporate world values Caitlin Clark more than the league she plays for. A'ja Wilson can call herself the face of the WNBA all she wants, but the truth is simple. When companies cut six-figure checks to have Caitlin Clark headline their events, they're showing exactly who they believe holds the real power. Caitlin's not just working smarter, she's playing chess, while the rest of the league is still figuring out checkers. She's showing the next generation what real independence looks like. And while A'ja Wilson fumes online, wondering why the spotlight never seems to leave Caitlin, Clark keeps doing what she does best. Smiling, signing, and stacking wins both on and off the court. Quietly, efficiently, with precision. The WNBA, meanwhile, is sweating bullets, and A'ja's leading the panic. Why? Because Caitlin just proved once again that she doesn't need the league to win. The moment the season ended, she turned her off-season into a business empire. No rest, no drama, just pure strategy. While other players are tangled up in CBA talks and social media rants, Caitlin's out here earning six figures just to speak for an hour. Every single paycheck she collects off the court reminds the league how powerless they are without her. Here's the harsh truth. When Caitlin Clark plays, ratings soar. When she doesn't, viewership drops. That's not hype, that's math. She's the engine that keeps the WNBA running. So you can imagine how nervous the league must be now that their most valuable player is out there hosting her own events. No logos, no sponsorship splits, no WNBA involvement. Just Caitlin, a microphone, and her money. It's Caitlin Clark's world now. The WNBA's just living in it. You can practically feel the panic inside the league office. Media outlets friendly to the WNBA are scrambling to spin the story, insisting it's just one event. Sure, until that one turns into 10, because that's how it always starts. Last year, Caitlin took on a few off-season appearances, and by spring, her calendar was packed. This year, her first gig is already trending, and sponsors are throwing blank checks her way. At this rate, her speaking income alone could soon surpass her entire WNBA salary. And the best part? She's not even breaking a sweat. While Wnba Wilson posts vague quotes about hard work paying off, Caitlin's proving it in real time. In designer heels, not sneakers. And that jealousy, you can feel it. Every time a new Caitlin headline drops, Wnba's scrolling, frustrated. She's spent years positioning herself as the face of the league, only to be overtaken by a rookie who did it faster, louder, and smarter. While Wnba's still fighting for media respect, Caitlin's out here negotiating 5-figure deals before breakfast. It's a whole new hierarchy, and Caitlin Clark sits firmly at the top. And for fans wondering why she didn't join Unrivaled, the player-run off-season league started by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart. Well, Caitlin already built her own version of Unrivaled. The simple truth? She doesn't need to. Unrivaled might be great for players looking to earn a little extra cash, but Caitlin Clark's already beyond that stage. Why risk getting hurt in a glorified off-season scrimmage when she can make just as much or more by speaking to CEOs in a luxury ballroom? That's not arrogance. That's strategy. Clark isn't just stacking checks, she's building generational wealth, and that's exactly what separates her from the rest. Some critics online say she should use her platform to fight for others. But here's the thing, she is fighting, just not in the way they expect. She's showing the blueprint. She's proving to every woman in sports that you don't have to beg the system for your value. You can create it yourself. Caitlin's teaching that real power doesn't come from permission, it comes from independence. And that's exactly what terrifies the WNBA. Because the moment more players realize they can make serious money without the league's approval, the whole power structure falls apart. That's why every time Caitlin trends, you can practically hear the commissioner's office panic. And the best part? This is only the beginning. Her Long Island Association appearance is just step one, a public announcement that Caitlin Clark is open for business. From here, expect the big moves, new endorsement deals, another Nike campaign, maybe even a Netflix documentary or her own basketball academy. Every decision she makes from now on happens outside the WNBA's control. Meanwhile, the league's PR team is busy tweeting about unity and growth. Nice slogans, but Caitlin's not chasing buzzwords. She's chasing results. She's done waiting for the WNBA to evolve. She's already building her own economy. And here's where the timing gets almost poetic. Her Long Island keynote lands on October 29th, just 2 days before the WNBA's CBA expires. While the league's players and executives are arguing over pay and benefits, their biggest star will be on stage in New York, delivering a speech about leadership and success to millionaires. You couldn't script better irony. WNBA faces lockout while Caitlin Clark cashes in. Chaos on one side, control on the other. And guess which side Wnba Wilson's on? The one still complaining. You know she's watching all this thinking, how is she making more money than me? But that's the whole point. Caitlin's not waiting for anyone to decide her worth, she's defining it herself. Whether the season shuts down or not, she wins. If there's a lockout, she's still booked and paid. If it continues, she comes back richer, more influential, and even more untouchable. That's what real leverage looks like, and the WNBA has no idea how to handle it. They've never had a player they couldn't control until Caitlin Clark showed up. She's polished, professional, and spotless in the media. The WNBA can't twist her image, and they can't frame her as a problem. She doesn't trash talk rivals, doesn't whine about calls, and doesn't fire shots online. She just wins and cashes checks, while the rest of the league chases clout. That's what really eats at Wnba Wilson. She's watching a younger, calmer, sharper player succeed at everything she once tried to master and make it look effortless. Caitlin's outshining her without even trying, and fans can't get enough of it. Even people who don't watch basketball respect Clark's discipline, humility, and focus. She's not addicted to drama, she's addicted to progress. That's why she's untouchable. The WNBA can't rein her in, the media can't spin her story, and the jealousy, it just fuels her. Caitlyn's built something no one else in the league has, a brand that outgrew the very platform that launched it. Now imagine this, what happens if Caitlyn Clark decides not to come back? The league's ratings would tank overnight. Sponsors would scatter, networks would panic, but Caitlyn, she'd be fine. She's already proven she can thrive and profit completely on her own. That's real power, the kind Aja can only talk about on Twitter. What makes it even crazier is how quiet Caitlyn stays through it all. No clapbacks, no ego, no flexing. She just moves in silence, while Forbes does the bragging for her. Every new deal she lands widens the gap between her and everyone else. It's not just dominance, it's domination with class. This offseason, Caitlyn Clark turned herself into a living masterclass in how to win. Not just in sports, but in business, in image, in legacy. While the WNBA is still arguing over charter flights, pay disputes, and officiating drama, she's on stage at leadership panels, rewriting the entire playbook for women's sports. Every move she makes trends. Every appearance turns into a headline. Even her silence starts conversations. That's how you know you've transcended the game. It's the level Aja Wilson has chased for years, but never quite reached. The truth is, the WNBA wasn't built for a player like Caitlyn Clark. They wanted stars who'd play along. Instead, they got a generational force who broke the mold in her rookie season. She doesn't need the league's spotlight anymore. The spotlight follows her. So when she steps into that Long Island ballroom this month, confident, composed, and commanding the room, everyone watching will realize what the league's been denying. They're not looking at just another player. They're witnessing a movement. And somewhere across the country, you can bet Aja Wilson will be scrolling through her phone, seeing those headlines, and wondering what it feels like to be the second most talked about name in her own league. Why do you think brands keep choosing Caitlyn over Aja? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss what's next.